The first day Daniel walks into the estate, the sky is bright and clear. The sun rests gently on the high white fence, on the flowers beside the gate, on the tall house that looks like a small palace. He carries only a small black bag and a folded piece of paper in his pocket. The letter that says he has been employed as the new gatekeeper. He stands outside the gate for a while, looking up at the big house. From the outside, everything looks perfect. Fresh paint, shining windows, a clean compound. Cars are parked neatly in the wide driveway. Flower pots are arranged like decoration for a wedding. It is the kind of place people slow down to admire. Daniel presses the bell. After some minutes, a young girl walks towards the gate, her phone in her hand, her steps lazy. She is in a short gown, her hair well made, her nails painted. Her name is Amanda, though he does not know it yet. Yes? What do you want? She asks without greeting. Daniel smiles politely. Good morning, madam. I am the new gatekeeper. I was told to resume today. She looks him up and down, from his simple shirt to his old shoes. Her face changes. Gatekeeper, she repeats, as if the word is dirty. Wait. She turns and shouts, Mum. The gateman is hero. A woman in a silk robe walks out slowly from the veranda. Mrs. Brown. Her face carries the kind of pride that comes from years of comfort. She does not hurry. She does not smile. She stops a few steps away, folds her arms, and stares at Daniel through the bars of the gate. You are the one they sent, she asks. Yes, Ma. My name is Daniel. She nods once. Open the gate and come in. The small room near the fence is your place. Keep this compound clean. Do not sleep on duty. And do not come near the main house unless we call you. Do you understand? Yes, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Good, she says, already turning away. Amanda, give him the key and come inside. The sun is too hot for you to stand near him. Amanda frowns, as if sharing air with him is a punishment. She tosses the small key in his direction instead of placing it in his hand. He catches it before it falls. When he opens the gate and steps in, he feels the weight of their eyes on his back. He walks towards the small gatehouse at the corner. The room is small but neat. One bed, one plastic chair, one small table. A window looks out to the street. In the corner, there is a broom, a mop, and a rusty bucket. He drops his bag and sits on the bed for a moment. He takes a slow breath, allowing the silence to settle inside him. If anyone could see his heart, they would be surprised. They would see that he is not nervous. He is not afraid. He is steady. On the small table is a mirror with a crack at the side. He looks at his own face in it. Plain shirt, simple trousers, quiet eyes. Nothing about him shows that he is the real owner of this beautiful estate. Nothing shows that the papers of this land carry his name. Nothing shows that he could, with one call, send this whole family out. But he does not make that call. Not yet. He lies back on the thin mattress and stares at the ceiling. The voice of an old man echoes in his mind, Mr. Harris, his late guardian, the man who built this estate and left it in Daniel's name. People show their true heart when they think you are nothing, the old man had said with a weak smile. Before you share what I left, test them. See who they really are. Then you will know what to do with your wealth. Daniel closes his eyes slowly. In the distance, he hears Mrs. Brown shouting at a maid. He hears Amanda laughing loudly at something on her phone. A man's voice, strong, deep, gives an order to someone. That must be Mr. Brown, the head of the family, the man who, by evening, will walk past the gate without looking at him. Daniel turns to his side and lets a small smile touch his lips. The test has started, he whispers softly. Outside, the gate stands tall and proud. Inside the gatehouse, the real owner of everything takes his first rest as a common gatekeeper. The days settle into a slow, steady rhythm. Every morning before the sun rises fully, Daniel sweeps the front of the gate. He washes the driveway, wipes dust from the flower pots, and cleans the small security post outside. He does his work with quiet care, not because anyone is watching, but because that is who he is. The first person who leaves the house every day is Mr. Brown. He is always in a suit, always in a hurry, always with his car key in hand and his phone pressed to his ear. Daniel opens the gate quickly whenever he hears the car start. Good morning, sir, Daniel says, each time with respect. Mr. Brown never answers. Not once. He drives past as if Daniel is part of the fence, as if the man who woke up before him to clean the compound is invisible. Sometimes he is still speaking loudly on the phone. Sometimes he is just silent, his eyes straight, his mouth in a firm line. But never a greeting, never a nod. Later in the morning, Mrs. Brown steps out, often in a fine dress, perfume filling the air before her. She might be going to the salon, or to meet her friends, or to visit a shop. She moves like someone who believes the whole world should make way for her. Gateman, she calls, not even using his name. Open the gate quickly. Can you not hear the car? Yes, Ma, Daniel replies, hurrying, though he was already moving before she called. She clicks her tongue, always looking slow. I don't know why they can't find smart people these days. What are you thinking all the time? You're just a gatekeeper. Use your eyes. Her words are sharp, but he says nothing. The gate swings open, and she drives out without another look. The daughters are worse. Amanda and her elder sister, Lisa, treat the gate like a stage. Whenever they leave the house, they must talk loud enough for Daniel to hear. They laugh at his clothes, his simple wristwatch, his worn-out sandals. Lisa, look at his shirt. Amanda giggles one afternoon, adjusting her sunglasses. It looks like something from our secondary school charity box. Lisa smirks. Maybe we should give him our old clothes. He will still look like a gate man. Some people are just born to stand by gates. They laugh together, a laughter that is not from joy but from pride. A laughter that carries the message, you are below us. You are nothing. One evening, rain begins to fall heavily. The wind is strong, and water runs like a small river by the road. Daniel stands under the small zinc roof of his gatehouse, watching the storm, when he sees Amanda's car approaching. She drives in fast, water splashing everywhere. He runs to open the gate. As he does, a sharp wave of dirty rain water splashes over his trousers. The cold soaks his legs, but he keeps moving. Amanda parks and steps out, holding a small bag over her hair. Are you blind? She snaps. Why didn't you open the gate earlier? Now look at my car, it is wet. Useless gate man. I am sorry, Ma, Daniel says calmly. The rain is heavy. I try my best. She rolls her eyes. Your best is not good enough. If you lose this job, where will you even go? People like you don't have options. She walks away, leaving wet footprints behind. Daniel closes the gate quietly. Inside his pocket, the keys to the estate feel heavier than usual. Inside his heart, there is no anger, just a deep, quiet observation. He has seen people like this before. People who worship comfort and despise anyone who seems below them. He knows the sign. The raised chin, the careless words, the way they speak to workers as if they have no soul. Later that night, as the rain calms and the sky clears, a soft knock comes on his gatehouse door. He opens it and finds the maid standing there. She is a young woman with tired eyes and gentle hands. Her name is Grace. Good evening, sir, she says softly. He almost laughs at the sir, but he stops himself. Good evening. How can I help you? She holds out a small food flask. Madam said we should throw the leftover rice away, but I thought maybe you would like some. It is still hot. Daniel looks at her for a moment. Her uniform is clean but old. Her slippers are torn at one side. There is kindness in her eyes and also fear. Thank you, Grace, he says, taking the flask. God bless you. She smiles a little, then looks back nervously towards the main house. Please don't tell them I brought it for you. They will say I am wasting food on a gate man. I understand, he replies gently. Your secret is safe. When she leaves, he sits on his small bed and opens the flask. The smell of jollof rice and fried plantain rises up. He eats slowly, his mind far away. In a house full of pride, he has found one heart that still remembers that a gatekeeper is also a human being. He bows his head and whispers to himself, this test is harder than I thought, but it is necessary. Outside, the estate sleeps. Inside the gatehouse, the true owner eats leftover rice in the dark, learning the weight of every heart around him. Weeks turn into a slow river of days. Every day brings the same pattern of disrespect, but it also brings new small moments that Daniel stores carefully in his mind, as if he is writing a secret report inside his heart. He watches how Mr. Brown speaks to people on the phone, shouting often, never saying please or thank you. He hears how Mrs. Brown shames the maid for tiny mistakes, but never corrects her daughters, even when they are rude. He notices how Amanda and Lisa speak about other people, how they mock neighbors, laugh at poorer relatives, and treat anyone in a uniform like a joke. He also watches Grace. Grace always moves quickly when she hears her name. Her shoulders are often tense, as if she is ready for a slap or an insult at any time. When she washes dishes by the kitchen window, Daniel can sometimes hear her humming a small song under her breath. It is the kind of song mothers sing to calm babies, a quiet tune full of hope and sadness. One afternoon, the sun is hot and the air feels heavy. Daniel stands by the gate, focusing on the road, when he hears a sharp cry. "Are you stupid?" Amanda shouts. He looks back and sees Grace kneeling on the ground, picking up broken glass. Beside her, orange juice is spreading across the tiled floor like a bright wound. "I am sorry, Ma," Grace stammers. "It slipped from my hand." "It slipped?" Amanda repeats, her voice rising. "Do you know how much that glass costs? Can you buy it with your whole life salary?" "I am sorry, Ma," Grace says again, her hands shaking as she tries to pick the sharp pieces without cutting herself. Amanda pushes her shoulder roughly. "Move away. You are clumsy and slow. People like you should not be near anything expensive." Daniel's hand tightens around the gate handle. For a moment, he almost steps forward, but he stops himself. He remembers the old man's words again, watch them. See them. Do not interfere too early. Let their real selves show. So he stands still, his eyes calm but deep, like someone watching a fire through glass. Later that day, when the compound is quiet, Grace comes to the gatehouse again with a small bowl of beans and plantain. "You didn't eat lunch," she says softly. "I kept this for you." "Thank you, Grace," he says. "You did not have to." She smiles sadly. "I know what it means to be hungry and still have to work. My father died when I was 15. My mother sells vegetables in the market. When I got this job, I thought maybe life will be easier." But she looks towards the house and stops speaking. Daniel nods slowly. "You are a strong person." She laughs, but there is no joy in it. "Strong? I don't know. I just don't want my mother to suffer." He watches her for a moment. One day he says quietly, "Your kindness will come back to you. Maybe not from the people you expect, but it will come." She studies his face, surprised by his calm confidence. "You talk like someone who has seen many things," she says. "Maybe," he replies, smiling faintly. That evening, after she leaves, he takes out a brown envelope from under his mattress. Inside it are documents, land titles, bank papers, the last letter from Mr. Harris. He reads the letter again, though he already knows every line. "Dear Daniel," it says in neat handwriting, "you were the only one who stayed by my side when everyone else wanted only my money. I leave this estate and a large part of my wealth in your care. But I beg you, do not give it to those who despise people they think are small. Wealth in the hands of the proud becomes a weapon. Test every heart before you decide who to bless." He runs his fingers over the words, feeling the weight of the promise he made beside the man's hospital bed. "I will test them, sir," he whispers to the quiet room. "I will not rush. I will see them clearly." The next day, an old black car drives into the estate. The driver, a man with gray hair and gentle eyes, steps out, holding a briefcase. Daniel opens the gate and bows his head slightly. "Good afternoon, sir," he says. The man looks at him closely, then smiles. "Good afternoon, Daniel." For a moment, the world seems to pause. The man has used his name, and not by chance. Daniel's eyes soften with recognition. "Mr. Collins," he says. The man nods. "I came to see the family, and to see how our gatekeeper is doing." "Things are clear," Daniel replies quietly. "You will see for yourself." Mr. Collins pats his shoulder. "You're doing well. Remember, patience reveals what hurry hides." As the old lawyer walks towards the house, Daniel feels something shift in the air. Today will bring another level to the test. The Browns have no idea who they are greeting. To them, he is just an old visitor. But to Daniel, he is the bridge between hidden truth and coming revelation. At the gate, Daniel stands straight, his eyes calm, his heart firm. He is treated like dust, but his time to speak will come. The afternoon carries a soft breeze, the kind that moves the leaves gently, but does not cool the heat completely. The compound is unusually quiet when Mr. Collins, the old lawyer, walks toward the main house. His steps are slow, steady, confident. He is dressed simply in a brown shirt and dark trousers, holding the same briefcase he has carried for years. From the gatehouse, Daniel watches without moving. His face is calm, but deep inside, he knows this visit will open many things that have been hidden. When the doorbell rings, Mrs. Brown steps out of the living room, wiping her hands on a white towel. She is not expecting any visitor, so her face is full of confusion. When she sees an elderly man waiting at her door, her expression changes immediately. She forces a smile that does not reach her eyes. "Good afternoon, sir," she says quickly, adjusting her robe. "Please come in. You must be tired from the sun." "Thank you." Mr. Collins replies kindly that he always speaks with a soft, deep voice, the kind that makes people listen without realizing they are listening. Mrs. Brown leads him to the visitor's chair inside. "Amanda," she calls loudly. "Lisa, come out. We have a visitor." The two girls come down from the stairs, dressed in casual clothes, but wearing the same proud expressions they always carry. When they see the old man, they straighten up a little. People like him, old, calm, educated, are the type they automatically respect. "Good afternoon, sir," they say together. "Good afternoon, my dear," he replies warmly. Mr. Brown soon joins them, adjusting his tie even though he is inside his own house. He shakes Mr. Collins' hand quickly, smiling the type of smile he uses for business partners. "What a surprise," he says. "We haven't seen you in years." "That is true," Mr. Collins says quietly. "I thought it was time to check on a few things." They do not understand what he means, but they nod politely. Mrs. Brown offers a drink, and he accepts water. As she goes to the kitchen, the girls sit down, pretending to be well behaved. Mr. Brown sits straight, ready to impress. Mr. Collins' eyes scan the house slowly. He is not looking at the furniture or the decorations. He is looking at the way the family behaves, their body language, the way they talk to one another, how quickly they change their attitude because they see someone who looks important. After some small conversation, he asks calmly, "How is your gatekeeper?" Mr. Brown frowns slightly. "Gatekeeper? Oh, the new one? He is doing his job." Amanda scoffs. "He is so slow, and he dresses like someone that has no future." Lisa laughs quietly. "He doesn't even lift his head when he talks. I don't like people like that." Mr. Collins hears every word. He doesn't change his expression, but something in his eyes grows sad. "I see," he says softly. Mrs. Brown returns with a glass of water. She sets it down and says, "Sir, is there any problem with him? Did he complain to you?" "No," Mr. Collins replies. "But I wanted to know how you treat the people who serve you." They all freeze. It was a simple question, but it falls on the room like a heavy stone. Mrs. Brown clears her throat. We treat our workers well." Amanda and Lisa exchange a small, careless smile, the type that says, "Who cares about a gate man?" Mr. Collins nods slowly, as if confirming something he already suspected. After a moment, he asks, "May I step outside for some fresh air?" "Of course," Mrs. Brown says quickly. "Amanda, follow him in case he needs anything." "No need," he says, still gentle. "I know my way." He walks toward the door, and the family watches him go, confused. Outside, the sun rests softly on the compound. Daniel stands by the gate, his posture straight, his hands behind him. When Mr. Collins approaches, he gives a small bow. "Sir." The old man smiles warmly. "Daniel, my boy." Hearing those words from someone he respects makes Daniel's chest lift a little. But the sound also travels. Amanda has followed behind quietly and hears it. Her eyebrows rise. "My boy." Mr. Collins looks at Daniel with the same gentle eyes he used to look at him when he was younger. "How are you managing?" he asks softly. Daniel's answer is calm. "I am fine, sir. I am watching, learning, seeing hearts." Mr. Collins nods. just as he instructed. There is a heavy silence after those words, a silence Amanda does not understand, but cannot ignore. She stands frozen near the veranda, her mouth slightly open. The old man lowers his voice. I asked them about you. I know, Daniel replies. I heard. What will you do? Mr. Collins asks. Daniel breathes deeply. I will finish the test. I will not rush. When the time comes, the truth will speak for itself. Mr. Collins places a gentle hand on his shoulder. You have a good heart. Do not let their behavior touch it. I won't, Daniel says quietly. From the veranda, Amanda watches them shocked, confused, and suddenly curious. She has never seen anyone speak to the gatekeeper with respect, and the words she overheard keep ringing in her ears. Daniel, my boy, just as he instructed, finish the test. She walks back inside slowly, her thoughts unsettled. For the first time since he arrived, the house begins to notice the gatekeeper. Not as dust, not as a shadow, but as someone with a mystery around him. And the test, the one Daniel has been quietly running, enters a deeper place. The next morning begins quietly, but not in the usual way. The air feels different, as if something inside the house is shifting. Amanda wakes up earlier than normal. She does not scroll through her phone first. She does not shout at the maid. Instead, she walks to her window and looks outside. From her room, she can see the gatehouse. She sees Daniel sweeping the compound slowly, his movement steady, patient, almost peaceful. Something inside her stirs, not guilt, not kindness, just confusion. The way Mr. Collins spoke to him yesterday still sits in her mind, like a stone that refuses to move. Daniel, my boy, who was this gatekeeper that an old, respected lawyer spoke to like family? Why did he say finish the test? Why did Daniel speak calmly, like someone who was not afraid of anything? Amanda bites her lips slightly, trying to understand, but nothing makes sense. Downstairs, in the dining room, Mrs. Brown is pouring tea into her cup when Amanda joins them. You are awake early, her mother says, surprised. Amanda nods slowly. Mum, who is that gatekeeper? Do you know anything about him? Her mother frowns. What kind of question is that? He is a worker. That is all. But why did the old man yesterday? Oh, Amanda, please. Mrs. Brown cuts her off sharply. That old lawyer is strange. He talks like a prophet. Do not mind him. Mr. Brown, who is buttering bread, adds, I don't care who the gatekeeper is. He is paid to open the gate. Let him do it. Amanda drops the subject, but her heart is not convinced. Outside, Daniel finishes sweeping and sits on the small wooden stool near the gate. He looks calm, but his mind is awake. Every new day shows him something different. Grace walks towards the gatehouse, holding a tiny bowl with akara and pap. Good morning, sir, she says softly. Daniel gives a small smile. Good morning, Grace. I kept this for you, she explains. Madam didn't want breakfast yet, so I cooked small extra. You always think of others, he says, taking the bowl gently. Thank you. Grace blushes slightly, but her smile is small and sad. Sometimes I wish someone thought of me too. But that is life. Daniel looks at her for a moment, really looks at her. Under the tiredness in her eyes, he sees something strong, something pure. One day, Grace, he says quietly, your story will change. But don't lose your heart before then. She nods shyly and leaves quickly, afraid someone will see her talking too long to the gatekeeper. As she walks away, Daniel notices a small scar at the back of her arm. He has seen it before, the type of scar a hot iron leaves. It presses something painful in his chest, but he stays silent. He knows that in this compound, the smallest truth can shake the biggest pride. Around noon, Amanda steps out of the house. She is dressed simply today, not in her usual expensive outfits. She walks slowly toward the gate, pretending to be on a phone call, but her eyes keep moving to Daniel. When she reaches the gate, she stops. Her heart beats strangely fast, not because she is afraid, but because she is unsure how to begin. Daniel stands and greets her calmly. Good afternoon, Ma. She clears her throat. Good afternoon. Silence follows. She did not expect silence. She expected him to lower his head or step away nervously, but Daniel simply waits, not rude, not afraid, just steady. Amanda swallows. The man who came yesterday, that old man, do you know him? Daniel's expression stays unchanged. Yes, he is an elder I respect. Oh. She looks away, pretending to adjust her hair. Because he talked to you as if she cannot say the rest. As if you are not a gatekeeper. As if you are someone important. As if you carry something we don't know. Daniel does not help her finish the sentence. He simply nods once. He knew me before I came here. Amanda looks at him again, this time longer. For the first time, she notices something she has never seen. The calmness in his eyes. A calmness that does not come from fear or from trying to please anyone. A calmness that comes from knowing exactly who he is. Her voice drops a little. So, you are not just an ordinary gatekeeper? Daniel smiles, a small, quiet smile. What do you think, Amanda? She opens her mouth, but no words come out. Instead, she turns and rushes back to the house, her heart beating too fast. Daniel watches her go. He knows what she is thinking. He knows the test is entering a new phase, the phase where pride begins to shake, even if it is shaking quietly. Later in the evening, something happens that reveals even more. Mr. Brown returns from work, tired and frustrated. His phone call did not go well, and he carries his anger home like a heavy bag. As he drives in, Daniel opens the gate quickly, as always. But as the car enters, Mr. Brown slows down, rolls down his window, and shouts, "Why did you delay? Do you want to make me crash? Think with your head, not your feet. Are you a fool?" Daniel says nothing. He just closes the gate. But what none of them knew was that Mr. Collins had come back quietly that evening for a document he forgot, and he witnessed everything from his car. He sees the anger. He sees the disrespect. He sees how Daniel bears it silently. He shakes his head slowly. This family has no idea who they are speaking to. No idea whose estate they are calling their home. No idea that their lives are standing on the palm of the man they treat like dust. As the sun sets and the compound lies in deep orange light, Daniel sits in his small room, counting the days. The truth is coming. The test is unfolding. The mask of this family is cracking little by little, quietly, naturally, like a wall that has been pretending to be strong for too long. And when it breaks, everything will change. The next morning rises quietly, but it carries a strange heaviness, like the air itself is waiting for something to happen. The light is soft, the sky is clear, yet there is a feeling that the day will not end the same way it began. Daniel wakes early, as always. He folds his blanket neatly, washes his face, and steps outside the gatehouse. He breathes in the morning air and begins sweeping the compound slowly, as if each stroke of the broom helps him understand the people around him better. He works with the same calmness he carried from the day he arrived. Nothing in his movements shows that he owns everything he is sweeping. Nothing shows that the estate, the cars, the land, all belong to him. But inside, he knows, and the time to reveal it is drawing closer. Inside the house, Grace is already awake. She moves quietly from the kitchen to the dining room, arranging plates, wiping surfaces, preparing tea. Her eyes are tired, but her heart remains soft. She hums her little tune, the same gentle melody Daniel always hears. She is placing the last cup on the table when she hears footsteps coming down the stairs. She looks up quickly. It is Amanda. Her hair is rough from sleep, her eyes swollen, her step slow. She walks into the dining room and sits down without speaking. Her face holds something different today, not her usual pride, not her usual sharpness, but confusion. Grace greets her, "Good morning, Ma." Amanda nods faintly. "Good morning." She says it without thinking, and the moment the word leaves her lips, she freezes. She has never greeted the maid before. Grace almost drops the tray in her hand. She is too shocked to react. Amanda clears her throat awkwardly. Is the gatekeeper outside?" Grace nods slowly. "Yes, Ma." Amanda rises suddenly. "I'll be back." Grace watches her leave, still confused. Something is happening, but she cannot understand what. Amanda walks out of the house with her heart beating painfully fast. The distance between the veranda and the gate feels longer today. She sees Daniel sweeping near the flowers. When he hears her footsteps, He stops and turns politely. Good morning, Ma. This time, the greeting hits her differently. She feels it in her chest, not her ears. She swallows. Good morning. Her voice is quiet, shaky. Daniel notices it, but his calm expression does not change. How can I help you? She stands there, holding her fingers tightly together, her throat dry. She opens her mouth, closes it, then finally asks. The old man, the one who came, who is he to you? Daniel takes a slow breath, not rushing, not hiding, but not revealing too much either. He is someone who guided me, someone who knows the truth about me. Amanda steps closer, unable to hold the question in her heart any longer. What truth? Daniel looks at her carefully, not with anger, not with pride, but with the stillness of someone who has carried a secret for too long. Amanda, he says softly, the world is not always the way it looks. People are not always who you think they are. She blinks rapidly. Are you saying you're someone else? Daniel gives a small smile, gentle, almost sad. I am saying that life tests all of us. Some fail the test, some pass, and some do not know they are even being tested. Amanda's heart drops a little. The hidden meaning is heavy. Before she can speak, a loud voice breaks the moment. Daniel. They both turn. It is Mr. Brown. He is walking toward the gate with long, angry steps. Daniel steps aside slightly, giving him space. Mr. Brown stops in front of him, breathing sharply as if he is ready to release his frustration on the nearest person. What is wrong with you? He snaps. Why is the gate not fully open? I need to drive out within 10 minutes. It is open halfway because the gardener left a wheelbarrow by the fence, Daniel says calmly. I am about to move it. You are always slow, Mr. Brown shouts. Always. Do you think I pay you to stand and talk to my daughter? Amanda flinches. Dad. Keep quiet, he barks at her. Daniel stands tall, not replying, not bowing his head. His silence is not fear. It is strength wrapped in gentleness. But that silence only angers Mr. Brown more. If you delay me again, he says, jabbing a finger toward Daniel, I will throw you out of this house myself. You think you are important? You think you matter? You are just a gatekeeper. Nothing more. The words hit the air like a slap. A deep hush falls over the compound. Amanda's eyes widen. She sees something in Daniel's face, not pain, not fear, but a quiet finality. A moment of decision. Mr. Brown storms back to the house. Amanda looks at Daniel with trembling hands. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have said that. Daniel shakes his head gently. It is all right, Amanda. Everyone speaks from the place their heart understands. Her chest tightens. She wants to ask what he means, but the words will not come. Daniel lifts the broom again, sweeping slowly as if nothing happened. But inside him, something shifts. A line has been crossed. A wound has been opened. A truth can no longer stay hidden. Later in the afternoon, Mr. Collins arrives quietly again. But this time, he does not walk into the house. He walks directly toward the gatehouse. Daniel steps out to meet him. It is time, isn't it? Mr. Collins asks softly. Daniel looks toward the house, toward the pride, the insults, the blindness that has covered the Browns for years. Yes, he says slowly. Their test is over. And the truth, the old lawyer asks. Daniel breathes deeply. The truth begins tomorrow. The evening sun settles gently on the estate. The wind is soft. The world feels calm. But inside the walls of that house, everything is about to turn upside down. And none of them know. The gatekeeper they look down on is about to stand before them as the man who owns it all. Morning rises slowly, as if the sun itself knows a quiet storm is waiting inside the Brown family estate. Daniel wakes before the first bird sings. He sits on the edge of his small bed, his hands clasped together, breathing in the cool air. Today is the day he has avoided for weeks, not because he is afraid, but because truth, once revealed, changes everything. It changes the receiver, and it changes the giver too. He stands, dresses in the same simple shirt and trousers, and steps outside. His feet touch the cool ground. The compound is silent. Even the flowers seem still. Today, the gatekeeper will stop sweeping dust. Today, the owner will speak. Inside the house, breakfast is tense. Mr. Brown is reading the newspaper loudly, turning each page with unnecessary force. Mrs. Brown is stirring her tea, her face pinched from a headache she did not sleep away. Amanda sits quietly, her mind still replaying yesterday's scene. Lisa scrolls through her phone with her usual careless arrogance. But beneath the surface, something is different. Something unsettled. Something they cannot point at, but they feel. When the doorbell rings, they all look up. Grace rushes to open it. When she sees who is outside, her eyes widen. "Sir, good morning," she whispers. Mr. Collins steps in, calm, quiet, steady. He holds a black folder under his arm. It is the same folder he carried on the day Mr. Harris passed away. "Good morning," he says, walking into the living room without waiting to be invited. Mrs. Brown stands. "Oh, you're here again, sir. Please sit." "No need," he replies gently. "Call your husband. Call your daughters. I want to speak to all of you." Everyone freezes. Something in his voice tells them this is not a casual visit. Mr. Brown comes downstairs quickly. "What is the problem?" "You came very early." "I came," Mr. Collins says, "to talk about the owner of this estate." Those words pull the room into deep silence. Mrs. Brown adjusts her robe nervously. "What about him? He passed away, didn't he? This house belongs to the company now. They told us." Mr. Collins raises a hand. The room obeys him instantly. "The company never owned this estate," he says slowly. "The estate belonged to Mr. Harris until he signed it over. Before he died." They stare at him, confused. "Signed it over to who?" Mr. Brown asks sharply. Mr. Collins opens the black folder. He brings out a document with an official stamp. "To his heir," he says. "His heir," Amanda whispers. "But Mr. Harris had no children." "He had no biological children," the old lawyer replies. "But he had someone he raised, someone he loved, someone he trusted." Mr. Brown's voice grows tense. "And who is that person?" Mr. Collins breathes in slowly. "He left this estate to Daniel." The name hangs in the air like thunder. For a moment, no one speaks. Lisa laughs abruptly. "Daniel? The gatekeeper? Is this some kind of joke?" Mr. Collins does not flinch. "I do not joke with legal matters." Mrs. Brown shakes her head aggressively. "That cannot be true. A gateman? A common?" "Not a common anything," Mr. Collins interrupts softly. "Mr. Harris raised Daniel, paid for his education, trained him to manage wealth, loved him like a son." Amanda's breath catches in her throat. She feels the room spin. Grace stands near the wall, her hands trembling. She has always known Daniel is different, but she never imagined this. Mr. Brown's voice rises. "Why was this hidden from us? Why did he pretend to be a gatekeeper?" Mr. Collins looks at him deeply, like someone looking into a mirror full of unpleasant truth. "To test your character," he says quietly. "To see how you treat people you believe are beneath you." The silence that follows is heavy and sharp. Amanda's eyes fill with tears she does not understand. Lisa's phone falls from her hand. Mrs. Brown slowly sinks into a chair, and Mr. Brown's face turns pale. Then the sound of footsteps outside breaks the silence. Daniel walks into the living room. Not slowly, not proudly, but with a calmness that fills the air. The sunlight from the doorway touches him gently, as though the morning recognizes who he truly is. He stands before them quietly, his hands folded behind him. Nobody speaks. It is Mr. Collins who breaks the silence. "Daniel, my boy, it is time." Daniel steps forward. His voice is soft, steady, unhurried. "I came here to see your hearts," he says. "To see how you treat people when you think no one is watching." He turns to Mr. Brown. "When I greeted you every morning, you never answered. You shouted at me, insulted me, and never once looked into my eyes." Mr. Brown lowers his head slowly. Daniel turns to Mrs. Brown. "You treated me like dust, called me useless, spoke to me like I had no soul." Mrs. Brown covers her face with her trembling hands. He turns to Lisa. "You mocked my clothes. You laughed at my work." Lisa begins crying quietly. Then he turns to Amanda. Her eyes meet his, full of regret, confusion, and shame. "You asked me yesterday if I was someone else," he says gently. "Yes, I am." Her chin trembles. She cannot speak. Finally, Daniel steps back and speaks to all of them. This estate, this house, the land you have lived on proudly is mine. But I did not come to shame you. I came to see you, to understand you, to know your hearts. Tears fall from Amanda's eyes one by one. Grace watches him with quiet admiration and a soft, proud smile. Daniel continues. Now that the truth is open, the test is complete. The room shakes with silence. The Browns have never felt so small, so exposed, so powerless. And Daniel, the gatekeeper they look down on, stands tall, steady, gentle, and unshaken. Tomorrow, they will face the consequences. But today, they face the truth. The morning moves slowly after the truth settles, as if the house itself is learning how to breathe again. Daniel does not shout. He does not mock them. He does not ask for anything. He simply stands there, calm and steady, like someone who has carried pain and patience for a long time, and finally reached the quiet end of the road. The Browns sit in the living room, not knowing what to do, what to say, or how to face the man they once looked down on. Mr. Brown's hands tremble as he tries to speak. Daniel, we didn't know. If we knew, Daniel raises a gentle hand. If you knew, you would have behaved differently. And that is exactly why the truth was hidden. The words land softly, but they hit deep. Mrs. Brown wipes her eyes with the edge of her robe, her breath shaking. We were wrong. I was wrong. I thought you were just a gatekeeper? Daniel finishes softly. She lowers her head in shame. Lisa sobs quietly beside her mother, covering her face. For the first time in her life, she realizes how small pride makes a human being look. Amanda sits alone, her hands pressed tightly together, her heart heavy. She looks at the floor because she does not have the courage to look at him. I treated you badly, she whispers, her voice shaking. I talked to you like you were nothing. And now, Daniel turns towards her. His face is gentle but firm. And now you know that a person's worth does not come from clothes or job title, he says. Respect is free to give. It costs nothing. She nods slowly, tears rolling down her cheeks. Grace stands quietly near the doorway, watching everything with a soft, humble heart. She is the only one who is not ashamed today. Every small kindness she gave has returned to her like light. Mr. Collins clears his throat. Daniel, my boy, it is time to decide what happens next. The Browns freeze. Daniel looks at the lawyer, then at the family, one face at a time. He sees fear. He sees regret. He sees pride collapsing like an old wall. I am not here to throw anyone out, he says finally. They all exhale at once, a long, heavy breath of relief. But things cannot stay the same. The room grows still again. You will not treat workers like dust anymore, Daniel says gently. Not in this house. Not anywhere. Mr. Brown nods quickly. Yes, we understand. Mrs. Brown wipes her tears again. We will change. I promise. Lisa whispers, we already feel different. Then Amanda stands slowly, her hands shaking. I'm sorry, Daniel, she says, her voice breaking. Not because you are rich. Not because you own this place, but because you are human. And I forgot that. Daniel looks at her for a long, quiet moment. Not with anger, not with pride, but with a calm understanding. Thank you, he says softly. Change starts with seeing your own heart clearly. Amanda's tears fall again, but this time they fall from a place of truth. Daniel turns toward Grace. Come, he says gently. She steps forward, unsure but hopeful. Daniel smiles at her softly. You were the only one who showed kindness without knowing who I was. You gave food. You gave respect. You shared your story without pride. Grace lowers her head, tears gathering in her eyes. Because of that, Daniel continues, I want to help your mother. I want to help you go to school. You have worked long enough. Grace gasps, her hand covering her mouth. Sir, I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to, he says. Kindness always comes back home. She cries quietly, not from sadness, but from the miracle of being seen. Finally, Daniel steps back and speaks to everyone. I will stay in the gatehouse for a few more days. After that, I will move into the estate fully and begin renovations. The Browns look at him with fear. Daniel continues gently. You can stay here if you are willing to learn how to live without pride. They nod quickly. Grace smiles softly. Amanda wipes her cheeks. And for the first time since he arrived, Daniel feels peace in the air. The kind of peace that comes when masks fall and truth stands naked but clean. Later that evening, Daniel walks to the gate as the sun sets in orange light. The estate looks calm, almost new. He leans on the gate gently and watches the road, listening to the wind move through the trees. Grace walks toward him with a shy smile. They are scared, you know, she says quietly. Daniel chuckles softly. Maybe fear will teach them what comfort could not. Grace nods. I'm happy for you. Daniel turns to her, his expression warm. And I'm happy you're here. The two of them stand together in silence, not awkward, not uncertain, but peaceful. Inside the house, the Browns sit quietly, each of them thinking deeply, tasting humility for the first time in their lives. Outside, the gatekeeper, the owner, finally breathes freely. He came as nothing. They treated him like dust. But he leaves the test the same way he entered it, with a calm heart, a steady voice, and a gentle strength that no wealth can teach. Some truths destroy, some truths rebuild. But this truth, this one changed every heart it touched. And the man they once mocked became the man they now respected, not because he owned the estate, but because, even with all that power, he chose to lift them gently instead of letting them fall hard.